I'd like to think that most people truly love their libraries. What do you think is the role of libraries today in American life?
One of the great things about being president of the American Library Association is that I can visit all the libraries in the country. Everywhere I go, I stop by and see the library. And that's always been true ever since I was a librarian. We're all sort of library tourists, and I like to go and check it out. But as president of ALA, I get to focus on that. Like, it's the only thing I've been doing since I was elected a year and a half ago. So I see libraries all over the country doing extraordinary things, from school libraries that provide a safe haven for kids inside of the school, connecting to the curriculum through programming. There's a great school library here in the city, PS 28, where librarian Lauren Ginsberg has a composting and beekeeping program that aligns with the school's commitment to environmental awareness and climate action. And that's a great example. And I think of school libraries a lot, and that's one of the kinds of libraries that I think is most important. The recent study from the Human Rights Campaign indicated that 60% of trans and gender variant students report feeling unsafe at some point in school. 90% report feeling safe in their school library. So I think the role of the school library in American life, especially for our most vulnerable students, is crucial as a space, but also as programming and resources and things like that.
Why do you think books by and about LGBTQ people and all people of color are the books that are constantly being banned and challenged?
It's no accident that the attacks on the right to read map attacks on people in other kinds of ways, right? I think that we have to be cognizant that there's a link between wanting to ban books about trans and gender variant experience and the kinds of law we're seeing in some states that would limit gender affirming healthcare. And a link between a banning of books by Black authors and efforts to restrict classroom curricula that tells the history of Black America. So it tells the history of America, which is also the history of Black America, right? And so I think all of those things are linked. And, I try to figure it out, and it's all I think about, trying to understand why anyone would have an interest in removing a book from the hands of a child. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I think the attacks are about, a desire to exert power on those of us who I think are taking rightfully our place in American society, culture, and politics in a way that we haven't before.
How important is it to have an out queer person lead the ALA at a time like this? And I'd love to hear a little bit about what you have faced so far because of who you are.
It's very important to have an openly gay person in public leadership at a time when lots and lots of people like me are facing the kinds of attacks I've been facing, but from inside of their communities. So one of the things that happened since I've become president is a lot of anti-gay, anti-lesbian rhetoric has been sort of coming at me fast. And it happens online, and I'm able mostly to sort of tune it out, which I have to do just to keep my mental health intact. But one of the things that has done is I feel very connected to other library workers on the ground, some of whom have been, attacked by family, friends, and neighbors in these book ban fights in ways that are, just crushing to think about. And when I talk to people about what they're facing and the intense amount of fear and anxiety and the toll it takes on your ability to stay in the library, stay in a job that produces such goodness in the world, right? Like LGBTQ plus library workers, like all library workers, put books in the hands of children. We help people fill out online forms and connect to government resources that they could not connect to otherwise. I think about eviction assistance programs, how in order to qualify for eviction assistance, you have to fill out an online form using broadband internet with an email address that you can reliably check. And those three things are things that public library workers make possible for people in their communities. And when the attacks on the books and the attacks on people working in libraries come quickly, that's a lot to ask for a person to withstand that kind of abuse while serving the community in that way. So I think it's important to have somebody who's standing up here and like, I'm definitely not going anywhere, and none of us are going anywhere. So I think that's sort of my goal right now, is just sort of hang on, I think.